Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I am beyond honored to be here and still a little bit confused about why I'm here because I'm a patient. I'm not one of the people who has done the research, the caregiving, the advocacy, and the philanthropy. But I am playing my own part in how to at least advance the knowledge about this disease of breast cancer. Let me say that as the president of the college, my long-term primary care physician who's in the Bullfinch group at Mass General, Dr. Anna Voros, has been mandating annual mammography for over the last 15 years. So it never occurred to me that women would not want to do annual mammography. So every year before school starts, I go for my mammogram. But this year was different. I got the call that we all hope not ever to get to call, which is, please come back, there's an abnormality. And so on September 9th, I went back, and within 15 minutes, Dr. Phoebe Freer told me that there was a reason I was back and that they believed I had breast cancer. Within a few hours, I had met my surgeon, and a week later, I had a stage 1 grade 3 tumor removed. And I then went through a series of treatments, starting with chemotherapy, which I began on October 9th and finished on December 11th. Radiation, which I began on February 2nd and finished on March 16th, and now I'm in a 5-year medication regime. My doctors were simply wonderful. Dr. Freer was the first person who helped me get used to this idea. Dr. Dennis Roy, who's a longtime friend and the head of the breast pathology lab, walked me through every single treatment and showed up at my treatment side every single time. Then Dr. Beverly Moy, who is a force of nature, saw me through the chemotherapy, and Dr. Alphonse Tajian saw me through the radiology. I could not ask for better care. I owe Dr. Slavin a long letter, and he will get it, because Mass General has been superb. Every dollar that is invested in Mass General is worth much more than that. So when I had the diagnosis, in my mind immediately came a Bible verse, which is, you meant this for evil, but I will turn this into good. But God will turn this into good. And I thought about the evil as the cancer, and the good as, what can I do about this? And as the president of a women's college, very quickly it came to my mind that I could not live through this treatment plan without talking about it and sharing my experience. So I took advantage of something I do every week, which is I publish an email to the entire community called Thoughts from the President, and I started documenting my experience. I talked about how scared I was to have a needle biopsy, how really scared I was to have a needle biopsy, and how the residents got me through it without a hitch. I talked about losing my hair and how hard that was, even if planned, how hard that was, and how hard it is to maintain a professional role and appearance when you feel like you're not really up to the task. And I talked about the number of people I met in the process who were dealing with cancer in my community, and I didn't even know it because no one wants to talk about this. Even today, cancer is a dangerous word. People worry about losing their jobs, worry about losing their friends. Somehow people think it's contagious, which is simply amazing, but they do. And then I got particularly concerned about breast cancer itself when I learned that so many women put off mammograms. If I had not had my mammogram when I did, I would be facing a far more serious fight. So I have really found it important to talk about the importance of mammography, annual mammography, that it is not painful. It might be awkward, but it's not painful. And for goodness sakes, you should not do it because you're worried that you'll find out you have breast cancer. That is the single most frequent reason that I hear for not having mammography. And when I think about that, from all the women that I know, it is mind-boggling to imagine that. But it's true. So I talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and I'm looking for constant opportunities to talk about it. I started out thinking this was for my community at Simmons, but it quickly made its way beyond the Simmons community and have been followed at Mass General during radiation by the Boston Globe, which was an interesting experience to have your picture on the front page of the Globe, lying there ready for radiation in your hospital gown. Not exactly the most professional presentation you might hope for, but that's the picture the Globe chose. So you know, once you take this step, once you've made this leap into understanding that you have cancer, your life changes. And though I've been grateful to have many sources of purpose in my life, this one has become a very important purpose, and I will continue to work on talking about breast cancer for as long as I'm alive. I'm certain of that. I do want to say that I am most grateful to Mass General because, in spite of the fact that it is an enormous institution, never once did I feel like a number in a large institution. And most importantly, never once did I feel that anyone there felt that way. Everyone gets the same level of incredibly high care. And what more can be said about an institution than that it is doing its very best in terms of the quality, the medicine, the research, but also that it is a caring place to be treated. So I am honored to be here tonight to be in the company of people who are working so hard on this disease and on helping other people, not just breast cancer victims, but also people who are being treated for the many other kinds of cancer that Mass General obviously supports. And I obviously am very grateful that I'm here where I am a year later. You know, we never know what life is going to bring, and you know, sometimes it brings totally unexpected stages in our life. But I can truly say, as odd as this may seem, that I am grateful for my experience. I would never have volunteered for it, but I am grateful for my experience because it has changed my view of life entirely and only for the good. Thank you.